Here we go with On Top the Cage presentation of Super Wild Card Weekend show.
Super wild card.
Super Wild Card. Week 19, if you will. I'm going to add some more adjectives to it.
What makes it super? Because there's a Monday night game?
I don't know. That's what I was going to get to. I was going to add more adjectives. Super Wild Card Wraparound Weekend. This is the first time that we will have a wild card game on Monday night. Probably a disservice, if you ask me, a little bit to the Dallas Cowboys and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. But
I agree.
Hey, I don't make those decisions, so it is the Super Wild Card Wraparound Weekend show here. You won't see this until Friday morning. Dan and I's usual shoot day is Wednesday. It's Thursday because there was an event at Dan's house. What do we have?
My daughter turned 23 yesterday.
That's awesome. Happy birthday to Delaney Stecks. It was just yesterday.
Yesterday.
Dan had plans, so we're shooting on Thursday. It's not a problem because we don't have games till Saturday. Obviously, it would have been a problem. We probably would have done the show on Tuesday if it was during the regular season when we have a Thursday night football game. We do not. We have 6 games to pick for you. We'll get to that in a bit. But obviously, we're going to talk about our lives and bullshit, as we call the intro here. How was Delaney's birthday? What did you guys do?
It was good. We went to local dive bar, Royal Gardens, down the street.
Where is that at?
619. You know where State Road comes in?
I do.
Right there. There's a TV repair place.
Yes.
Yeah,
like
that building.
Borderline on the Portage Lakes area
Yep.
there. You went to Royal Gardens.
Went there for drinks. And
What time
went
did that start?
5.
5 p.m. start, 5 p.m. kick for the drinks?
Yep.
Wait, do you have the whole family?
Tyler ended up meeting us there, yeah, and then we left there and had reservations at Alexander Pierce in downtown Akron at 7.
All right. We got to fill this up. I'm going to ask him all kinds of questions about this. What's Delaney's drink of choice? What does she have there?
Wednesday night is $6 martinis.
Martinis. Those are dangerous
Yeah.
drinks, man. Those are dangerous drinks,
So
right?
she had a dirty one.
Yeah?
Yep.
That means what? An olive in it? What does that fucking mean? I don't even know what that means.
Had the olive juice.
I don't drink martinis because I feel like I'm going to break the glass. I don't.
Vodka.
You got that little skinny stem on the glass and the big white thing. I'll either pour it on my face or I'll break it or something. Like, it's too dangerous,
Yeah.
right? And probably that's why Dan drinks beer. You didn't have a martini, did you?
No.
What about
Bud
Tammy?
Light. She was drinking Crown on the Rocks.
Jesus, she's a go-getter.
Yeah.
Damn, Crown on the Rocks. She was ready to go.
Yep.
Dan, traditional Bud Light, right?
Bud Lights.
All
yeah.
right.
Come on, I was driving.
Yeah, that's real, man. You can drink your usual drink. If you go outside of your, normal palate, outside of your wheelhouse, start drinking like wild drinks that you're not used to, it can go wrong in a hurry. I've been in that spot before. What about T-Bone? T-Bone have some drinks?
He chugged a Bud Light.
Bud Light?
Yeah.
And then he went to dinner at Alexander Pierce, right?
Yeah.
All
Good
right.
place.
Yeah?
Food's good.
Is that
reasonably priced?
Is that like a hole in the wall too?
No, it's nice. It's below. There's apartments above it, and it's like in the basement of the.
It's right next to the Goodyear
Apartment.
Theater, right?
No, it's closer to downtown.
Wait, what's going on here with this cough?
Do
we need to do the beer review on the gate?
Yeah.
We can do it. It's fine. I am struggling to find beers. Dan obviously needs a drink. He's coughing. I'm the one who's coming off my sickness. And we'll talk about that in a bit because I had somewhat of a poor performance over the weekend. But Dan loves Truth by the Rhine Guys Brewery Company, based out of Cincinnati, right?
Cincinnati, yep.
Literally, I'm struggling to find beers. I should have picked up a beer. I didn't do it. It wasn't there when I went to get the beers on Tuesday, I guess. And it was called We Are Lions. I mean, the only affiliation it has to is the Lions knocked the Packers out of the playoffs.
Yeah.
I wanted to buy it. I was pissed that it wasn't there.
Last weekend.
It was some double IPA by some company I had never heard of before because I had checked it out completely. I just made the mistake of not buying it. And somehow it wasn't there when I went to get them. So we're here. Hey, it's only a 12-ounce beer, but the show's probably going to be a little bit shorter than normal, like I mentioned earlier. We only have 6 games to pick. Juicy Truth, Dan. Talk about Ryan Geist and Juicy Truth.
Cincinnati made 6.5% alcohol.
They never change their cans. Colors change, but other than that,
change, but yeah,
they still have that like alien-looking fella. But Dan regularly has Truth in his tap, his home tap at home, right?
Yeah, we pulled. We took the Truth out. It was getting old.
I love Truth. I think
Yeah.
it's by far the best
This past
offering.
summer we changed it up, but this has pineapple, mango, and citrus notes.
The Truth beer is
Catch
an
the
awesome
wave.
beer. I've been over at Dan's Garage before. It jacks me up. We'll see. This is a.
Well, it smells like normal Truth.
What do we think?
It's lighter.
It's good though.
It's good.
It still tastes a lot like the Truth. It is lighter. You can see the color's lighter too. I
Definitely
mean,
lighter,
it's like
yeah.
an amber color that comes out of when I go to Dan's house, his garage, which isn't terribly often because I'm such a homebody, and he has Truth there. I mean, it's on tap, and I like draft beer, and obviously gets poured into a glass, and it's like a reddish amber brown
it's
color.
thicker.
This looks like a summer version of a Truth.
It tastes just like it, only lighter.
It
It's
does.
like
It's very
Truth
similar.
Light,
Do you know what the Truth alcohol the regular
7.5.
and this is 6.5?
Mm-hmm.
All right, I like it. We go with it. I could go
Yeah,
on for
it's
2
good.
of these. 6.5's not bad.
No, that's like a normal beer.
We've done double that before, I think. So
Yes, we have.
anyway, what'd you have for dinner at what was it called again?
Alexander
Ale-
Pierce. I ended up getting the burger. It was some kind of blend. They smoke stuff there.
Wagyu or whatever.
Now it wasn't Wagyu, but then put the bacon. They had horseradish cream that you could get with a steak. I got that with my burger.
Tape it to your ass. I love horseradish sauce. So.
And then truffle fries. So my
Oh, shit.
$17 burger with all the stuff that I got ended up being about $30.
Oh, really? The sides
Yeah.
like doubled your price tag?
Yeah.
All right. What Delaney have? She's the
She
birthday
had
girl.
a chicken breast, and it was huge. It was like 2 breasts. I can't
Is she a
remember.
healthy eater?
Bruschetta sauce. It was good. Hers was good. Tammy had some salmon that was fantastic.
Wow.
And Tyler, they had a smoked duck breast special, and he got that.
No, wait, really? Like you went off the reservation? Really? I mean,
It was good.
Have you made duck on your smoker
no,
before?
I've not done duck.
Has he had duck before, or was just like gonna take a swing at it? Like I had enough Bud
I don't know
Lights,
if
I'm gonna
he's
take a
had
swing at it. But he liked it.
Yeah.
Dan
Everything
had,
was good.
sounds like Dan had to deflect the price tag and get a burger. I
No,
don't know.
not.
But especially burgers
Pork
are
chop,
awesome.
I've been there before. The pork chop was good. I didn't want to get that again. Chicken sandwich looked good. The burger looked good. I was going to get the duck, but since Tyler got it, I was like, well, I'm sure I'll get some of the duck
Little
anyway.
piece, yeah. I'll try
so,
that. Little sample.
Yeah, but the burger was fantastic. It was the juiciest burger I've ever had. I don't know how it was so juicy.
Really?
I mean, it was one of those where you pick it up, you couldn't set it down. I mean, the juice was running down my hand.
I love a good burger. I don't get it much anymore.
It
My
was
wife.
fantastic. Had little hints of smoke on it. It was
Yeah.
good.
I don't recall the last time I've had a beef burger. My wife does not eat red meat, which turns out
Sucks
that
for
I
you.
really don't eat much red meat. Have you been to Kent Steers Lodge? I know we're
Not
talking about
for
local shit
years.
here. Their burger is fantastic. I always get it when I go there. I'll splurge, if you will, in regards to as opposed to eating a little bit more healthy variety. All the food's good, but their burger is tits if you go there. Order the burger. So anyway, that's why we're shooting on Thursday. Hopefully Delaney had a great birthday. Did she get a present? Did we get presents this age?
Well, yeah, of course.
That's your wife, right?
Yeah. She's eventually looking for an apartment, so she's picking stuff out that she wants to decorate with. So one of the things she got from us was some comforter she wanted,
Yeah.
some coma-inducing comforter. Or something. I
Right,
don't know what the hell it
right.
was.
I need a comforter. My wife, like, we have different body temperatures. It's cold here. I mean, it's been fairly warm in
Yeah, you
regards
still
to
have the
Jane.
air
Can't
conditioning
complain.
unit in the window?
No, that's out. But it's out. But the windows are open. Like open. Like hers is always open on her side of the bed. And then I go to bed before her largely. She's such a night owl. But like last night I went to bed and my window was shut. But I saw her walk over before she decided to go to bed and open my window. So
Ah.
like it's chilly in our bedroom.
My wife got this weighted blanket.
No.
It's like a 20-pound blanket. And I'm
Is
like,
it on the bed?
yeah, she sleeps with it on her.
Just
And
her
it's
though,
like-
it's not your side?
Oh, hell no.
20 pounds?
20
Come on.
pounds. I swear to God, it's 20 pounds. Because when I got to make the bed, because she gets up before me,
Last person out of bed makes
Yeah.
the bed.
I got to move this damn 20-pound blanket.
Dan gets a workout in the mornings.
It's ridiculous.
That's funny. That's funny. Well, we had a good weekend.
Excuse me.
We had a great weekend over here. Guest again. My brother-in-law Billy was in town. That was great. And then my brother-in-law Kevin came in as well. He was supposed to be here for Christmas. They couldn't make it. They were in Louisville. Interstate 71 was closed because of ice and snow, and I don't know what the hell the whole problem was at Christmas, but it was fucking wicked cold here. It obviously was. But they're really tight, like brothers. They hadn't seen each other in 4 years.
Really?
Yeah. We had a great time, or they had a great time. I had somewhat of a poor performance. Friday, we let it go pretty good. Billy was over at Katie's parents' house. His dad, Poppy, we refer to on the show, is there. He spent that night over there with them, catching up and things like that. Kevin, myself, Katie, we let it go pretty good on Friday. But that's always, when you got a Friday through Sunday, and they left on Monday morning, Friday night's always the biggest night, at least in our family. You let it go pretty good, and then maybe you lick your wounds a little bit on Saturday and see what happens on Sunday type of thing. Kevin, Katie, and I let it go pretty good. We were up to like 2 in the morning, with debauchery. Saturday was a pretty early night, I would say. I think we all retired by midnight. I think Billy was still ready to go. I felt a little bit bad for him. On Sunday, I had to drive Connor back to school down south to Columbus, Ohio State University. I did that. We left, I don't know, around 10-ish or so. I got back in town around 2:33 in the afternoon. Started working here for you guys on Top of the Cage. My showing was not good. It was Fireball and Diet Coke was the drink of choice this Sunday. I made it till about 8:30, and I was wildly intoxicated. I think I lost like my drinking chops a little bit with my illness, because I hadn't drank a whole lot, like maybe a couple of times in the previous like 2 weeks because of my illness. But I was ready to let it go to work for you guys, watch the games, although it was kind of sketchy games and things like that. The last week of the season is always a little bit sketchy. I went to bed like at 8:30.
You missed the best game of the day.
I saw a little bit in
Oh,
bed.
that
It
game
was a
so
Detroit
good.
Green Bay game.
Yeah, that was so good.
I meant to mention it. Did I mention that We Are Lions thing and I should have picked that beer up?
Yeah.
I think I mentioned that already. But anyway, I heard them, the basement, they were in the basement largely, and it's right underneath our master bedroom. I heard them hooting and hollering, playing pool, doing shots, the whole 9 yards. I felt bad about it, but that other job, that law thing, gets in the way every once in a while. And so, we certainly had a great weekend. So, I'll tell you what, I mentioned last week, who did we pick as we enter the playoffs and the tournament time here? Who did we pick in the season prediction show, which was over Labor Day weekend that Dan and I shot that show. I'm pretty proud of our predictions. The teams that we picked are certainly in the tournament. Dan picked Buffalo and San Francisco to make it to the Super Bowl, which is in Arizona, by the way, this year. I thought it was in Vegas. It's in Arizona, so it's the road to Arizona, if you will, as we start the tournament and start picks here soon. But Buffalo and San Francisco was Dan's pick. My pick was Buffalo and Philadelphia. Philadelphia's not on the board because they're a 1 seed. I wouldn't back off either of those predictions. Pretty impressive stuff, I would say, considering we picked these games or picked these teams on Labor Day weekend. So,
Lucky us.
nah, lucky. It was good. And speaking of good, last week Dan and I were both good. We both finished 10-6, which in a sketchy week of picking games is difficult because you don't know who's going to play their players, how long they're going to play their players. There's some teams that are out, some teams are playing for something, others are not. It's kind of a mess. Dan finished the season 126, 141, and 4. I finished 142, 125, and 4 plus 17. Both of us hit our relevant picks. Dan was on Tennessee. He won his early on Saturday night. I had Cincinnati. They covered the number against Baltimore. We're going to see a rematch of that game. I finished 13-5 on the year on best bets. I'm all proud of that stuff. So we'll see. Other quick sports news before we go. The national championship game sucked. Sucked.
Awful.
The national championship game, as I said on the previous show, last week's show, I think was played the previous Saturday night when Georgia played Ohio State. A whale of a game, a hell of a game. Our local team ended up just short. Congratulations to the defending champs and two-time champs, I guess now, the Georgia Bulldogs. It was not a game. It was 38-7.5. It was never in question. It was horrible. It was fucking horrible. So,
How about rain coming in on that stadium? That's technically not a dome. It's porous.
yes.
Because I was watching the Skycam view, and the camera was wet in the second half. When I would flip back, because I changed it, it's wet. But then did you hear all the bullshit about people falling and getting hurt because the concrete was wet?
No, I did not hear
Oh,
that.
man.
There's a ton of rain. There's like a natural disaster basically happening in California.
There's
Rain.
going to be a ton of freaking lawsuits against that stadium. And
Watch where the fuck you're going. I don't know
Tell
about
me.
all that, but
oh, yeah.
the design of that place maybe not ideal. I was watching. I mean, there was multiple options for the national championship game on Monday night. First of all, I was happy about the game started like around 7:45.
Yeah, no, I was happy about that.
I feel like they usually start around 8, like an hour later, or so to
It says
accommodate
8
the West Coast
o'clock,
people.
and then it ends up being 8:30.
Right, and then halftime's forever, all this other good stuff. But you didn't have to watch past halftime. It was
Yeah,
an embarrassment
it was
for
over.
TCU. I was
The
watching.
ratings have to blow on that.
Probably, yeah. I don't disagree with that. There was a lot of different viewing options. Dan, you said you were watching the Skycam. Neither of us watched the regular one. I was watching the Pat McAfee.
I started
podcast.
on that one, but there was too much going on.
I'll tell you what,
It
it
was
was.
distracting to me.
I really like Pat McAfee. I like his shtick and things like that. It was kind of over the top in regards to it. The cameras were fine and everything good like that, but I don't know. It was like they're trying too hard a little bit. Nothing against Pat McAfee. He's built an empire with that thing. Congratulations. Good for him. But I was watching that part of it. So anyway, not much of a game. As far as the National Football League news goes, Black Monday happened. I think we have five openings for NFL coaches right now. We'll see how all that
no
shakes out.
surprises to me.
No, I mean, the Houston thing, it's just a mess. I mean, they had fired David Coley the year before. Lovie Smith has 1 year. They end up firing him after 1 year, and you're going to get a lot of this stuff in regards to two black coaches not getting an opportunity. You know who deserves an opportunity, though, this year in the coaching cycle for sure is Steve Wilkes at Carolina. They fell just short, but, that team was an absolute disaster before he took it over, and he did pretty damn well with that team. And in that shitty NFC South, he came really close to getting a team in the tournament.
Well,
they
that's the
fell
key.
short.
Shitty NFC
So,
South.
One last little tidbit of sports stuff. New rules in overtime for the playoffs exclusively. We didn't see this during the regular season. Both teams get a chance. So, like if one of these playoff games goes into overtime, you're probably going to see the team that wins the coin toss probably defer. Let the other team see what they do because you get an opportunity to match them or win the football game. So
clock is not an issue.
No, it's not. I don't think it is an issue. A good point. I didn't really think about that, but I don't think it is an issue. So, anyway, I made the intro as long as I could. I think I told Dan this could be a short ditty of a show. We'll see how short it is. We only have 6 games to pick, and we got 2 games on Saturday, 3 games on Sunday, and then the Monday night cap of the whole thing, I guess. First game on the board. You ready?
Yeah.
Dan's ready. All right, the 7th seed squeaked in the playoffs, Seattle. They go to San Francisco, division game. So these teams have played already twice. The 2 seed, the San Francisco 49ers, are 9.5-point favorites in this game. Seattle finished the season 9-8. The San Francisco 49ers finished at 13-4. Seattle comes off of their win against the Los Angeles Rams. These two teams, like I said, they played twice before. San Francisco won both games, and I think Dan and I are going to differ on this because we were just kind of bantering back and forth about some of the games before we went actually on the set. I think this is a really bad matchup for Seattle. I think it's a tough matchup because their run defense is not good, and I feel like that's going to be what Kyle Shanahan, speaking of the San Francisco 49ers, to try to protect Brock Purdy, obviously making his first playoff start, took over the reins of the team due to injury, maybe 6 weeks ago? Something like that.
Something like that.
And Seattle, if you ask me, Dan, and I'll let you talk here in a bit, I know I'm kind of dominating things. I feel like Geno's been kind of spotty. Like, he played so well during the regular season, and he seems a little spotty the last, few
Come
weeks.
on, it's Geno Smith. I'm not. Seattle squeaked in. They needed help to get there. I think, unfortunately, the Browns.
They won their game in overtime against the Los Angeles Rams to get in. I much would have rather seen the Detroit Lions, who beat Green Bay
Exactly.
and knocked them out of the playoffs, which was fucking awesome on Sunday night. I think the game's much more intriguing if it's Detroit at San Francisco because, I mean, Detroit's an up-and-coming team.
Yeah.
And they can score points on anybody. Talk about difficult scoring points. I mean, San Francisco brings to the table not only their 10-game win streak, but the best defense in the National Football League. They're getting a little bit healthier. Deebo Samuel played last week for his first time in a long time. We talked about their defense. It's good. But, Dan, I feel like you like this Seattle team to hang in here in this game.
I do. 9 is a huge number in this one for me.
9.5.
9.5. Yeah, no, that scares me. So I'm going to pick Seattle in this, even though I think San Francisco is going to win the game. Seattle's going to come to play.
I tell you what, and I don't.
Plus, it's hard as hell to beat a team twice. Now you got to beat them a third time.
Yeah, division games. They beat them both times this year. And I tell you what, the
What
underdog
scores. Do you know?
I don't know exactly. I saw it. I didn't write it down on the board. Right. Ring the bell. Where's the producer? The guy behind. I mean, most legit shows have some guy, with errors, and they'll raise their hand behind the set, say, "Hey, you got that wrong," type of thing. Let's clear it up for the people. We don't have that. We don't have the budget for that. In any event, San Francisco. I'm going to lay it with San Francisco. I know it's a big number. Not only the unders. I mean, historically, the unders, and I hate betting unders. By the way, the over-under game is 42.5. I hate betting unders. Historically, this year, 55% of the games went under. It's the highest percentage of unders cashing as opposed to overs since 1991.
Wow.
That's almost, 30 years? 30-plus years? I mean, that's a staggering number for the unders. I remember telling Kevin that to play an under because of how many unders a cash year. I didn't know the figures, and he played an under and won. I know this weekend, but this weekend was a little bit foggy. In any event, I'm taking the San Francisco 40s, a 2 seed, minus 9.5. Dan's season prediction show for the NFC representative. I think they're going to blow them out. I mean, it means a lot more. We'll see.
They're going to win. It ain't going to be a blowout.
All right. That game, by the way, starts Saturday at 4:30 on Fox.
Is the monsoon done?
Yeah, they've had a lot of rain. I think it does clear out this weekend. I don't know. I mean, I don't know if they're expecting a lot of rain or not. I mean, that's a very good thing. I was watching the nightly news and talking about all these mudslides and all this water and things like that. I mean, I think it even favors San Francisco more if it's wet. I mean, they're going to use
wash
McCaffrey.
Some shit away.
They're going to use McCaffrey. All right.
EPA is going to be pissed because it's in the ocean now.
We almost got past that game without Dan mentioning the sidewalks and other places and feces. Almost. Just a slight hint to it. He got his point across. That's fine. We're odds in the first game. I'm on the 40-liners, laying the 9.5. Dan's
40-liners.
40. I'm struggling here. 49ers laying the 9. That's a lot of nines. The 49ers laying the 9.5. Dan's going to take the Seahawks. The nightcap on Saturday is 8:15 p.m. start. It's on NBC, and it is the Los Angeles Chargers. Chargers. Yes, that's correct. Traveling across the country to play the Jacksonville Jaguars. The Chargers, they are the 5 seed in the tournament. The Jacksonville Jaguars, they come off their winner-take-all game last Saturday against the Tennessee Titans. They advanced. They finished the season 9-8. They are the 4 seed in the tournament. The Chargers have been installed as 2-point favorites in this game. The over-under is 47.5. I don't think that's big enough to start with. I think this game is going to be a shootout. But anyway, the Chargers, they play their players.
Their coach is an idiot. He's an idiot.
I don't trust Brandon Staley, and let's get into it right away.
I mean, when Mike Williams is hurt.
He got hurt in the game. He's going to play. They said he's going to play today. But meanwhile, he did. He went out of the game. I mean, they were locked into the 5 seed before Week 18, the last week of the National League.
The dude's been hurt all year long.
Why would you play him, right? Why him, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Why him?
He's a difference maker.
They played their players. They lost the game against Denver. But why play those players? And I don't trust him. I mean, I think the Chargers are a very dangerous team. I mean, it's an offensive league. Justin Herbert's a great fucking quarterback, man. I mean, there's no two ways of getting around it. I mean, they have players, like star players on both sides of the ball. I don't trust Staley, though. But anyway, let's talk about Jacksonville and their game on Saturday. Their offense didn't look good. Trevor Lawrence played so good down the stretch, like probably the last 6 games. He's 100% a franchise quarterback, and they're going to 100% stick with him. But their offense didn't look good. It took a monster defensive play at the very end of that game, with maybe like 6-8 minutes left in that game. It was a strip sack, return for a touchdown, and they scored points because their previous 5 drives on offense, Jacksonville against Tennessee, they went
really
3 and
a
out.
strip sack?
I thought it was. I thought it was a good call.
I don't know.
You thought it was a pass or a forward pass? I mean, it was very close. I thought it was the right call. I thought it was empty hand going forward. I mean, it was very close. I mean, at least the officials did a good job of letting the play run out because the worst thing that can happen is you blow the ball dead. And then it would probably change the outcome of the game completely. Jacksonville, let's talk about the state of Florida. They put all 3 of their teams in the tournament, starting from north to south.
I didn't even realize that.
Yes. Jacksonville, north to south, Jacksonville, Tampa Bay, and the Miami Dolphins, all in.
Wow.
I mean, there's only 14 teams in this tournament. The state of Florida put all three of theirs in. So, Dan's finished. Are you finished with your beer? I felt like you were. Did you throw it?
I was waiting until this segment was over.
Dan, what do you think? Really? Chargers -2. There we go. Traditions.
Jacksonville.
I like it.
First time for a new coach, first time in the playoffs versus an experienced coach.
Dan's talking about Brandon Staley versus Doug Peterson, Super Bowl champion coach Doug Peterson of the Philadelphia Eagles previously, right? And I tell you what, turned this team around. This team started, by the way, 2-6, and he turned this team around. They're playing with confidence. They didn't have a great showing. I didn't think they had a great showing. I mean, I'm down there in the basement watching that Jacksonville, Tennessee game with Billy and Kevin. Billy's from Jacksonville, and he's excited about the game. Let's Jax Beach, and what's all going on in his hometown. So
they didn't run the ball very well at all.
No, their offense did not look good at all.
Tennessee's defense is pretty good.
By the way, this game was played. I mean, and Dan and I were chatting about this. We only got 6 games on the board, so we're talking like randomly about shit. But
all the games.
Every one of these games, these 6 games on the board, these 2 teams that played each other in the regular season. It was week 2. Jacksonville went out to Los Angeles and kicked the shit out of the Chargers. I think I lost money on the game, like personally playing the game. It was like 38-10. I'm not expecting anything like this. I'm expecting a super competitive game. I like Jacksonville as well in this game to find a way at the end. I think it's going to be a shootout. I think last team who has the ball wins.
It's supposed to be chilly in Florida this weekend.
Fitty?
That's chilly in Florida.
It is chilly in Florida, man. It is chilly in Florida. So we're both on Jacks.
Yep.
Getting the 2 points. So, all right, very good. Next game on the board. Dan's going back in. I will eventually. Yeah, go ahead and bring me one. It's fine. I'll eventually use it, I think. No. The next game on the board is the 7 seed Miami Dolphins, who kind of limped in. They did win last week against the Jets to get in, playing the 2 seed Buffalo. Buffalo's a monster favorite in this game. They're 13-point favorites in this game. Miami finished the season 9-8. Buffalo comes off of their win against New England. By the way, Miami, they needed to win against the Jets, and there wasn't a lot of scoring. There wasn't a ton of scoring.
Did they get a safety at the end?
Was it 9-6? I don't know.
11?
I'm out here though.
11-6.
I made yes. Oh my God, we gotta talk about this because I made it back for like the second half basically of the games. Like I made it back in town about 3 o'clock after dropping Connor off, and Billy and Kevin, both Dolphins fans, big Dolphins fans, man. And Kevin had personally played the game with Dolphins -3 or -3.5, and that last fucking crazy play happens, right? And they don't put it up on the board forever. I mean, they end up. They end up progressing the ball for a while, the Jets, like moving it forward, and then it starts going backwards, and the crazy lateral shit happens, and eventually the ball bounces out of the Miami end zone.
Oh my God!
Kevin and I are both watching like intently. We see him put up, the safety sign, but nothing happened for like 15 minutes. It went to like break. It still said 9-6 final. Like 5 minutes to 10 minutes after the game ended, it changed to 11-6. His bet cashed. Good for Kevin. I'm not sure why we're talking about this exactly, but we got to make the show longer. Buffalo, just under a 2-touchdown favorite, 13-point favorites in this game. It ballooned. The line, I think, started around 9 or 9.5 or something like that. But then the news was that Tua wasn't going to play. I don't think Bridgewater's going to play. I think it's Skylar Thompson. I don't know how much of a difference there is between, Teddy Bridgewater and Skylar Thompson playing. I mean, it's really tough to go into a tournament with your third-string quarterback.
Yeah.
I mean, in the playoffs, playing really good teams. That's really hard. I mean, these two teams, obviously familiar with each other. They played 2 times. Down in Miami, remember the game? The Ken Dorsey meltdown in the booth? Where Buffalo was at the goal line. They fucked up the clock, the whole 9 yards. It all went wrong. Miami ends up winning the game. And then they played an amazing game the week before Christmas in Buffalo with all the snow. The final was 32-29. Tua played in both of those games. And it was a shootout. But meanwhile, there's no Tua. And I think, I'm sorry to the in-laws, I think you have 0 chance of winning this football game. I really do.
But are they going to lose it by 13?
That's the question. That's the gambling question. 13. I'll take the lead. Sorry, in-laws. I'm laying it all. I think Damar Hamlin was released from the Buffalo hospital this week. I think he walks out with a fucking flag or some bullshit. The crowd goes nuts. But that's not really all of it. There's going to be a ton of emotion. And Buffalo's a great football team. We both picked them to win the Super Bowl. The problem is that the Finns don't have a fucking quarterback. They have third-string Skylar Thompson, rookie out of Kansas State. You can't win football games with backup quarterbacks. You can't win football games with third-string quarterbacks. It's not like...
But are you going to lose by 13?
That's the question. I'm laying the points, Dan.
Man. I'm taking Miami. Screw it.
I like it. It's been a tough
13's too big.
It's been a tough betting year for everybody because people like to bet favorites, man. It's a lot easier to bet favorites. You just hope they play well and blow teams out.
It's a wild card weekend.
It's going to get wild. Dan says it's going to get wild. All right.
It doesn't happen.
That, by the way, was Sunday. That game's Sunday at 1 p.m. on CBS. The middle game on Sunday is at 4:30. It's on Fox. It is the New York Giants playing the Minnesota Vikings. Minnesota is a 3-point favorite in this game. Minnesota comes in the game as the 3 seed. The New York Giants are the 6 seed. Giants come off their loss against Philadelphia. Minnesota beat Chicago. They played their players half the time. Chicago didn't play their players, really, or at least they didn't play Justin Fields, and they have no chance when they don't. By the way, the Bears make the board because they're my football team.
Number 1 pick, baby.
Yes, sir. I tell you what,
Who are they going to take?
Hold on. The season went really bad when I'm out here with Keaton and we're like intently watching the 2-point conversion attempt between the Houston Texans and the Indianapolis Colts and going shit nuts. By the way, they converted a 4th and 20 on that drive. A 4th and fucking 20, not 10, not 20 yards. They convert a 4th and 20 to get there. They get a touchdown. They go for 2. Lovie Smith, former Chicago Bear head coach, thank you very much. They got it. They won the game. They gave the Bears the number 1 draft pick overall in the 2023 draft, which, by the way, is in April and in Kansas City, as opposed to the Houston Texans, who are quarterback needy, and the Chicago Bears are not. The Chicago Bears will absolutely mortgage that pick, I'm sure. The Bears...
They're going to mortgage it for what? What quarterback would you take with the number 1 pick this year?
I think we'll see. Bryce Young, C.J. Stroud, and a kid named Will Levis out of Kentucky.
None of them.
Oh, Bryce Young's probably going to be a number overall pick. I think the Bears going to mortgage it. I would love Houston to say, like, we need a quarterback. Davis Mills is not the answer. Jeff Driscoll's not the answer. And give the Bears 2 and 12, which was the Bears pick, the Deshaun Watson thing. I'll take 2 and 12 or 1 every day. I don't know if it's going to happen. I think the Indianapolis Colts, who drafted 4, is an option for the Chicago Bears. I don't think they want to go any lower. I don't think the Bears want to go any lower because what they really want is one of the defensive studs in the draft, which right now looks like Jalen Carter, the defensive tackle who gets to the quarterback, Aaron Donald type player, and then and Will Anderson, who is the edge rusher out of Bama. I don't think the Bears want to draft too far or draft too far down. They won't want those and a lot of extra picks, so we'll see. But yeah, season went wrong when you're like going crazy about that. So I'm going to recap this game. The Giants are the 6th seed. They travel to Minnesota, the 3 seed. Minnesota -3 in this game. Over-under is 48. That's a pretty big number for a National Football League over-under. This game was literally just played 2 weeks ago. And it was won by the Minnesota Vikings at the buzzer, 27-24, because Minnesota only plays really close games. It was a 61-yard field goal from their field goal kicker, Greg Joseph, that beat the Giants at the buzzer. It was very competitive. I expect it to be that way this week. So do the people in Vegas, who have put Minnesota at -3. I mean, how about this game, though? One quick stat, and I hope Dan can hear me. I don't know if he can, but I'm pretty sure he can. This has never happened before in the playoffs. Both of these teams, the New York Giants and the Minnesota Vikings, have negative point differentials cumulatively on the season, meaning they've been outscored by their opponents on the season.
Both teams?
Both teams. I mean, the Giants 9-7-1, maybe not exactly.
I knew that. Was true
surprising if you get blown out in a couple games. But the Vikings, with a sparkling 13-4 record, have a negative point differential. They've won tons of games at the buzzer. They've lost 3 or 4 games and got blown the fuck out in them. Minnesota -3 in this game, Dan.
Giants. Both of these teams are posers. I'm coming down with the coach. I think
Brian Daboll?
Daboll coaches the team better, but after this victory, they're done.
Minnesota's a very difficult team to predict. They really
can't run
are.
The ball, even with what's his face there.
Dalvin Cook?
Yep.
Yeah. This game went down to the buzzer. I think it's going to go down to the buzzer again. I like the Giants again. I mean, the Giants are going to feature a very heavy dose of 26, which is who is Saquon Barkley. I expect him to have 20-plus carries.
And some trickeration.
I like Brian Daboll as a play caller. I know he has some input in that. I know he handed it over. I think his name's Mike Kafka, who's calling the plays there. But he has a heavy hand in that. I thought, and I'm backing off of it because my season prediction show pick was the Minnesota Vikings and the Philadelphia Eagles to play in the NFC Championship with Philadelphia winning and going to the Super Bowl against Buffalo. I'm backing off of it, man. This team, I don't know. I'm going to take the points. I think it's going to come down the wire. I think the safest play is to play the Giants. Dan and I are in agreement on that game. Then the Sunday nightcap is the Baltimore Ravens traveling to Cincinnati. Green City.
Ratbirds.
Where Ryan Geist is from, right?
Yep.
Where the Ryan Geist Beer Company is from. Dan loves it. This game just got played last week. Let me get the line out there, though. The Cincinnati Bengals are 9.5-point favorites. This is another line that's absolutely ballooned. It looks like all the news is that Lamar Jackson is not playing.
Mudbud. How pissed is he? Because they just gave Roquan Smith that sweet deal.
On his own. Roquan does not pay an agent, whatever it is, 4, 5, 10%. I don't know what the fuck the vig is on that. Roquan got the deal he wanted, which was a 5-year, $100 million deal, $20 million a year. The Bears were not willing to give it to him for an off-ball linebacker. He's a great player. He's changed that defense in Baltimore. He really has.
I don't know about that.
The stats are completely different after he got there, like in week 9.
The stats are different, but he was non-existent the last time the Browns played him. You didn't hear his name mentioned.
Rowe can play. I like him as a player. He certainly has helped that defense. I mean, this is back-to-back weeks between these teams. They just played last week. I don't know what the final was, but it was fairly decidedly in favor of Cincinnati. And I don't think we had that thing. And Dan sent me a text like last week about how Cincinnati got fucked on the playoff format. I don't think it comes to fruition because I think Baltimore had to beat Cincinnati in the final of the regular season for it to come to fruition. But
they all get screwed because if Buffalo and Buffalo and the Chiefs play in the AFC Championship game, somehow it's in Atlanta.
Yeah, that's Kansas City and Buffalo. Yeah, I know.
That's bullshit.
We'll get to that. We'll see if it comes to fruition.
Well, that's bullshit.
And maybe
okay, play it at a neutral site, but play it somewhere where your fans could freaking go, where you're within driving distance.
Kansas City and Buffalo.
Atlanta. Why is it inside?
Soldier Field, baby. Kansas City and Buffalo. That's a perfect place. Soldier Field. Probably equidistant from Kansas City and Buffalo.
That field, you got Cleveland Stadium.
Yeah, Cleveland's an option.
Nashville or Tennessee. You got the Steelers Stadium.
Yeah, there's a lot of different options. I mean, I don't think Pittsburgh's. There's no way Pittsburgh for
maybe too
that's
close
too much
for
Buffalo,
Buffalo,
right? Yeah, but I agree with Dan. I mean, Yeah, usually the deferral is Detroit. It's always been a deferral. It was the deferral for the Buffalo game when they got pounded with that snow. I would never fucking live in Buffalo ever in my life, see all that shit. But anyway, something was going on at Ford Field in Buffalo where it couldn't be there. Otherwise, I know that would have been the option. But Atlanta always gets shit. They always get shit. Anyway.
Screw that.
I don't think Teddy's going, Grant's going, my brother-in-laws will live down there. But that's still a fun thing. Fuck it, man. It'd be fun. I mean, hopefully the place isn't empty. I mean, well, maybe it doesn't even come to that. We'll see if it comes to that. Recapping line, Cincinnati minus 9.5 in this game. They are the defending AFC champs, baby. Maybe they have a chip on their shoulder. They were going to get hosed in this playoff format, and they were not happy about it. I mean, not happy at all about it. Baltimore, look, since Lamar Jackson hasn't played, they played 5 football games in the regular season without Lamar. They've scored 4 touchdowns. The team cannot score without Mudbutt, MB. They can't.
They're bad.
They can't. The defense is really good. It's good. And it was okay before Roquan got there. I know Dan disagrees a little bit, but I think he's made a really big difference. Cincinnati minus 9.5. The game's ballooned. I played it earlier at 7.5. I'm in on this game already. I didn't think Lamar was going to play. It's Tyler Huntley at quarterback. You want the lead or you want me to take it? Because I know who I'm going with.
Go ahead.
The Cincinnati Bengals are going to blow them out.
You think?
I do.
Again, this scares me. It's the 3rd time these teams have played. Cincinnati's come out on top. They just played last week.
They did. I didn't want to say it was 27-10. It was my elephant pick. I know they covered the number.
I'm taking the Bengals.
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. I think that the Baltimore Ravens maybe score 10 points or 13 points. The line's under 10. I like the Bengals to score in the mid-20s or better on this team. They're the defending AFC champs. I think Joe Burrow's a fucking stud, man. Yeah. I love that team. They have playmakers. I mean, on the offensive side of the ball like crazy. I mean, Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, Joe Mixon. I mean, they got a good tight end, Hayden Hurst. I mean, they got it all. And you know, Joe Burrow just distributes the ball, does his thing. I mean, I like this team a lot. I mean, you know, they're like the forgotten team. Like everybody talks about Kansas City, who's on, by the way, Kansas City and Philadelphia on bye, obviously is the 1 seeds. Everybody talks about Kansas City and Philadelphia. I think the Cincinnati Bengals are defending AFC champs say, put the respect on our name. We're the champs. I mean, somebody's got to knock us the fuck off before, you know, they want to take that mantle from us or that crown from us. So we're both on the Bengals minus 9.5?
Yep.
All right, that's the nightcap on Sunday. We have a Monday night game. It's on ABC and ESPN. It's also the Manning cast is going to be there. It's kind of wild.
That screws these 2 teams. The winner of this game has a short week.
They do, and they'll certainly play on Sunday. They will not play. Whoever advances between Dallas and Tampa Bay will not play on Saturday. They'll play on Sunday for sure. But with that being said, I agree kind of with Dan. I mean, is this for TV? What is this for? I mean, it does kind of hurt the other teams. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I guess you go the other way with it in regards to the teams that have to play on Saturday from their previous final regular season game and, you know, playing their players and things like that, I guess. I don't know. I don't like it either. I don't think it's fair to the teams, but it's all about money is what it's all really about at the end of the day.
What? Money?
Yeah. Dallas minus 2.5 on the road in Tampa Bay where they have the ship with the shitty campfire. Dallas, they finished the regular season 12-5. Tampa Bay finished 8-9. Dallas is the 5 seed. They've been locked into it. Tampa Bay ends up.
Dallas finished the season with an ass kicking.
They played their players too
and got drilled.
They did. Washington lost like 26-6 or something like that.
They look stupid.
They do. And I saw a stat this week. Dallas is so much of a better team on artificial turf. Their team plays with speed. Their defense, their edge rushers play with speed. Their offense plays with speed. Tony Pollard, CeeDee Lamb, speed. They're not playing on artificial turf. They're going to play in Tampa on natural grass in this game. They're minus 2.5. I mean, here's the deal. Dak Prescott for the Dallas Cowboys, and I have some people who love the Cowboys, I know. He's got to play better. The dude he was tied for the league in interceptions, and he missed 5 games, Dan. He's throwing the ball to the wrong team, like right and left. He's got to play better for this team to win. And then let's talk about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. My first time. who I've ripped on all year. Like, fuck that. Fuck Tom Brady. There's no miracle here in Tom Brady. This team sucks. They have a losing fucking record. They're 8-9. They come off with a loss in Carolina. Well, they didn't play their players. Don't get me wrong. It's not indicative of anything. But they're in with a losing record. I mean, they did beat Dallas early in the year. I want to say it was week 1.
Week 1,
I think it was week 1. But I think Dallas has a ton of potential on both sides of the ball, but they can never seem to put it together.
No.
And then you're playing Tom Brady, whose team I think absolutely sucks, but has wild, obviously, amounts of playoff experience and been there plenty of times, knows how to win playoff games. It's kind of a polarizing thing for me. Dallas minus 2.5, Dan.
Tampa Bay.
Dallas is so much more talented. I'm laying the 2.5. I think they win the game at the end.
Get out of here.
I don't know. They're the better team, Dan.
No, there's no doubt about it.
But whether or not they put it together is a whole different thing. Like an entire different thing. I wouldn't play that game.
Were they the better team when they played the Commanders?
Right. I hear Dan's argument completely. The only way I play this game outside, because I'll be grilling. I grill on Monday nights because usually I'm like hungover on Monday, and grilling and like a beer makes me feel better about myself. Like being able to provide like my kids and my wife, like, oh, this is so good, type of thing. And I have a beer because you have to have a beer when you grill, right, Dan?
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, that's fucking mandatory, right?
Like 6.
It makes me feel better about myself on Monday. It's generally the only like beer or so that I have on Monday, and I go to bed early. But anyway, I'm trying to fill up the show. We are on to our best bets. We call it elephant picks on our show. I think I know where I'm going in this game.
Giants.
Really? Mm-hmm. They're going to win the game?
Yeah.
You think they're going to win the game?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's Baltimore and Cincinnati for me. And I'm going to play the defending AFC champs, the Cincinnati Bengals. I know I rolled with them last week. I'm rolling with them again. It's not because of that. It's because Baltimore can't fucking score because they have a backup quarterback with Tyler Huntley. They don't have Rashad Bateman. They don't have playmakers on offense, period. I like Cincinnati a lot in this game. I know it's a big line. I like quite a few of these games. I really do. Dan, let's recap it real quick on how many games I went with San Francisco. You went with Seattle, so we're at odds in that game. We both went with Jacks. We like getting the points in that game as an upset. I laid the points with Buffalo. I think you took the Fins.
Serious points.
I did. So we're at odds on 2 of the first 3. We both took the Giants, 2-2. We both took Cincinnati. 3-3. All right.
We're different on the last.
We are quite a bit. I'm on Cincinnati. Dan's on the New York Giants as his best bet. The buys this week, like I said, the Philadelphia from the NFC and Kansas City from the AFC. We will see those 2 teams next week. You guys will also see us next week doing what's called divisional round, I think. I think it's called the divisional round. It was a lot of fun. Hey, our viewership's way up. We thank you guys for that. We thank you for listening, watching. I know it's a day late. Enjoy it, man. I think this is my favorite weekend of the National Football League season. I mean, we went from 2 weeks. It seemed like 2 weeks. Week 17, there was quite a few games where it didn't matter. In week 18, certainly there were a lot of games that didn't matter. Not this week, baby. Every game matters. It's win or go home time. It's tournament time. Enjoy it. I love the National Football League. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening.